inventions are dangerous, Stark.
Hey, those weapons were meant for the good guys.
Is that supposed to be a joke?
Dear Tony Stark, how's it going?
Well, hopefully Thor and Tony can resolve their differences relatively soon. Anyways, welcome back, true believers and all you merry Marvelites, to another very exciting Marvel's Avengers related video. So if you've been personally keeping tabs on all the recent news, you would know that today is officially the first day of New York Comic Con. And while it is very exciting to see Marvel's Avengers participate within all the festivities during New York Comic Con itself, the main event is actually going to take place for the game tomorrow during the Marvel Games panel. And following that day on October 5th, we'll also be able to receive a full-on exclusive character spotlight of a brand new hero to be unveiled for the game overall. But lucky enough for us, we don't have to wait until tomorrow or October 5th to actually receive any new information about Marvel's Avengers, considering that fans are able to get their hands on the game as of right now at the Marvel's Avengers booth. And besides receiving even more impressions from gamers who actually got to play the game at New York Comic Con and hear what their thoughts are on the A-Day demo, we do actually have some brand new images as to what the game will feature. And of course, like we know already, the most interesting aspect about Marvel's Avengers presence at New York Comic Con is figuring out who this mystery character is going to be once it's revealed on October 5th. Now, if you do manage to recall, Marvel Games have stated previously that this character spotlight is going to be an event which is surely not to be missed, as well as the hero himself or herself being a fan favorite. And obviously, I did do a previous video discussing why it could possibly end up being a character like that of Miss Marvel, Ant-Man, or Hawkeye, or possibly even another fan favorite who hasn't even been featured in the game yet, like that of Black Panther or Doctor Strange. But still, out of all the other characters that exist within the Marvel Universe, and if you guys know me personally, you'll know that I obviously want this character to be the one and only Insomniac Spider-Man. Not only would this directly confirm the existence of the Marvel gaming universe, but I think this would definitely allow a lot more fans to be excited about Marvel's Avengers if they weren't already. But still, no matter who ends up being unveiled behind that curtain, I'm just really hoping that it will bring a lot more excitement to the game than what we have seen so far. So primarily, all of this information does come from fellow Reddit user named Abused Psyche, who did manage to grab a few screen caps of the Avengers project at New York Comic Con, showcasing what the actual gear menu of the game will look like. And alongside of that, he also managed to basically break down a possible trailer that will be showcased during the Marvel Games panel, which he got to see after playing the game, as well as a few glimpses as to possible suits that will be featured in the game as well. So based on this menu alone, we don't know for sure whether or not this means that the game is still in the pre-alpha stages of development, but I'm really hoping that they do change the overall stylization that the UI is showing here within this menu page. If I'm gonna be honest, this reminds me a lot of the menus that we have seen in the Ultimate Alliance games, and considering that this is a fully AAA huge action adventure blockbuster Avengers game, I do think they could step up their game when stylizing the menus. And like we know already, based off the Tokyo Game Show gameplay, Marvel's Avengers is going to head towards more of the RPG route compared to what we saw in the more single-player centric focused game of Spider-Man PS4. And what this essentially means is that you will be able to collect several different types of gear pieces, which will increase different stats for your own specific Avenger. And based on how rare the gear is, this will allow your stats to be increased even more, making your character more and more powerful as you progress through the game's story. The better the gear you get, the more powerful you will be during combat when fighting enemies that may or may not be a higher level than your own specific hero. So if you have played previous games like that of Destiny or Anthem, or even the most recent Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you will be aware as to how these RPG elements are going to function within Marvel's Avengers. However, while we do know that the game will feature microtransactions only tied into cosmetic items to acquire within the game's marketplace, I'm not really enjoying what I'm seeing on the bottom left corner of this image with several different resource items to collect while playing the game. Based on the numerous amounts of items and numbers that we do see on the bottom left hand corner, I definitely get the feeling that this is going to be a game where they encourage players to keep grinding for the best possible loadout of gear that you want to attach for each individual Avenger. So for example, based on the current loadout that we do see Iron Man have equipped within this picture, it definitely seems like he's going to need a much more powerful gauntlet in order to level up his current profile. And again, knowing that this is going to be a title which players can immerse themselves in for years to come, some, I definitely see this being one of the aspects as to why that is. We also know based off of previous interviews that there will be specific sets of gear in order to upgrade even more perks and stats for your character to make them even stronger down the line. Sadly, we won't be able to actually receive a full-on deep dive showcase as to how the co-op within the game is going to work until early next year. So hopefully by tomorrow during the Marvel Games panel, we could instead receive a full-on showcase as to how the gear system is going to operate within this game to fully clarify what type of game this actually is going to be for players who are still concerned about it. Now, I for one am not really the most fond of the looter shooter genre that some games have acquired so far, but I really do hope that Marvel's Avengers can turn the tide once it does release on May 15th, 2020. Now, even though that was a lot to dive into within that one image alone, the same Reddit user actually did describe what he saw after playing the game at New York Comic Con himself. And apparently, they did showcase a small trailer after they got to play the demo where they did showcase a possible total of over 20 slots for separate Iron Man suits which haven't been unveiled yet. And alongside of that, it also showcased small glimpses of the AIM soldiers conquering different parts of the world, which then the Avengers have to come in and save the day. Now again, we don't know entirely for sure if this is going to be the same material which will be revealed during the Marvel Games panel, but based on the description alone, it definitely sounds like there's going to be a lot of variety of suits for each character within the game. And based off what we know right now, given that AIM does appear to be the main antagonist of the Avengers project, I really do hope that they pose as a huge challenge once we progress through the story. So fingers crossed that everything works out for the absolute best once this game is actually available for everyone to play. And until that time comes, everyone, that's the video I have for you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. Who do you think the secret character is for the Avengers project, and what do you think about the gear menu within the game as well? I am going to be absolutely ecstatic if they do end up revealing Spider-Man to be connected within Marvel's Avengers, but I'm just gonna hope for the best as to whoever ends up being showcased on October 5th. And as for the gear menu itself, I really do hope that they can change the layout as to how it looks by the time the game launches next year. But until that time comes, everyone, thank you all so much for watching, stay merry Marvelites, and peace out.
Keep out Daryl. Costume for battles. Little Mjolnir over here taking a nap. A little bit of something I've been roasting in the sun for a number of weeks now, and it's almost ready. Delicious.